Goeiedag. In hierdie les gaan ons kyk na leidende en bedrywende vorm. That is the passive and the active voice. When do we use the passive voice in Afrikaans? Mostly when we do our creative writing, we write in the active voice. But sometimes for your paper 3, when you have to write a report on things that have happened or has happened, then you need to use the passive voice, die leidende vorm. So kom ons kyk hoe ons dit gaan doen. Die leidende vorm is die passive voice. Wanneer ons na die gewone woordorde van 'n sin kyk, is dit stompie, and you know stompie well by now. So that is the active voice of the sentence, die bedrywende vorm. However, when we write a sentence in the passive voice, leidende vorm, we start the sentence with the object. How are we going to do this? There's an easy formula that you can follow for leidende vorm. 4 things happen. Firstly, the object moves to the beginning of the sentence. Then we get verb 1, because remember your golden rule, whatever the sentence starts with, the verb follows. Then we have time and manner. The second thing that happens is we add this word deur. In English, we say the boy kicks the ball. The ball is kicked by the boy. So by is this word deur that we add into the sentence. The third thing is that the subject then follows on deur. Then we get the place. And the last thing, we add ge before verb 2 at the end of the sentence. So it basically becomes the object is word or sal we're going to look at now deur die subject geverb. So you have to remember object goes in the beginning of the sentence, followed by the verb. We add deur. After deur, we get the subject, and we add a ge to verb 2 at the end of our sentence. Important to remember, before you change the sentence from active into passive voice, you have to look at the tense that the original sentence is in that they are giving to you. This will determine what verb 1 is going to be. Let's see. So we're looking at the tense of the active sentence. If it is in the verlede tyd, verb 1 becomes is. If it is in the teenwoordige tyd, present tense, verb 1 becomes word. In die toekomende tyd, future tense, we are going to keep the sal and add word at the end of the sentence. Let's look at some examples and just a reminder that hulpwerkwoorde volg dieselfde formule as toekomende tyd. In other words, we are going to have object and then kan, wil or moet, deur die subject, verb, and then word. Right, so hulpwerkwoorde volg dieselfde formule. Ons eerste voorbeeld, die seun het gister die bal hard op die veld geskop. So this one is in the past tense, verlede tyd. That makes it easy for us because verb 2 is already at the end of the sentence and it already has a ge. And because it's in the verlede tyd, our verb 1 is going to be is. Onthou die formule. Ons begin met die object van die sin. Die bal is gister, time, hard, manner. Then we add deur, and then we have our subject. Op die veld is our place. Geskop is verb 2. Right. No, that's not subject, object. Die bal is gister hard deur die seun op die veld geskop. Example 2. Die seun skop vandag die bal hard op die veld. Nou is ons in die teenwoordige tyd. We are in the present tense. So verb 1 is going to be word. Once again, remember your formula, starting with the object, die bal, word, vandag, hard, and then we add deur. Die seun is the subject, op die veld is the place. The verb gets a ge and moves to the end of the sentence. Die bal word vandag hard deur die seun op die veld geskop. Another example. Die seun sal die bal hard op die veld skop. So sal tells us that we are in the toekomende tyd, we are in the future tense. So for future tense, verb 1, the sal stays and we add word after verb 2. Once again, start with the object of the sentence, die bal, object, sal, hard, deur, remember deur, die seun, subject, op die veld is our place, and there is verb 2 with a ge, geskop, and then we add word right at the end of the sentence. Like we said earlier, hulpwerkwoorde follows the same formula as toekomende tyd. So what will they look like? Die seun kan die bal hard skop. Hulpwerkwoord, met ander woorde, verb 1 word sal en word. Sal is however replaced by kan, wil, or moet. So when we have our sentence, die bal, object, kan, which can be kan, wil, or moet, for verb 1, hard is the manner, we still add deur, die seun is our subject, verb 2 still gets a ge, and word is added at the end of the sentence. When you have to write these sentences from the leidende vorm back into the bedryvende vorm, you are simply going to reverse the process. So you'll remove the ge, put the verb back in its place, and make sure that you have the tense correctly. Go through these slides and remember your formula, which will get you through leidende and bedryvende vorm. Dankie.